Welcome to the Ask Me How I Know podcast, the only podcast in the multifamily niche replicating what takes place outside the walls of a seminar. This is like the lobby, where honest, unscripted conversations take place and transformation happens. We'll talk about practical problem solving in the multifamily niche, as well as overcoming limiting beliefs. Thank you for joining us today, and now for our featured guest. Hey guys, welcome back to Ask Me How I Know. It's another marvelous Mindset Monday, and I'm happy that you are here. Do you ever feel like you need to know it all? Do you ever feel like you have to be the one that has the answers? Maybe you feel like you have to defend your answers? Well, I wanted to talk with you specifically on this topic. I'm just noticing as I look through social media feeds, as I'm listening to, and I don't listen to the news, but you get bits and pieces of it as you interact, with your community. And I get this sense that everybody has this pious, well, my idea is right and this is how it should be done. You can pick any topic that you want, and many people are very entrenched in their opinions on something. Recently, I had somebody actually, I won't talk specific issues, but they actually said, well, you have to have a position on this. You have to have, you must. And I said, but I don't have all the information to make a very good decision on this. I can only make decisions with the information that I'm given, and I need to really evaluate where that information is coming from. The person did not like they did not like my response one bit. And I went on to think about this further over the next few days. It kind of rattled me a bit that this person put me on the spot. It wasn't an appropriate time or setting to do that. And we're noticing that a lot more regularly, I believe. People are just a little bit afraid right now. But anyhow, we can work through things, right? But here's a conclusion that I've drawn. And I'm not going to hold myself to this, which actually really makes sense with the tone of this episode. The conclusion that I have drawn is that, one, we don't have to know it all. Two, our ideas and our opinions can shift and change. They can find some balance, right? True balance. We spoke about that recently. They can shift and change as we gain more information, as we have a deeper knowledge base or understanding. But here's what really was a kicker for me: humility. You are probably going to hear so much of that. Apparently, God is just trying to build a lot of humility into my life right now. And I'm thinking how much humility it takes to say, what if I'm wrong? What if their idea is correct? The biggest one that really slapped me upside the head was, who am I to say that I have it all figured out? And if I'm on one opinion side and the person's on the other opinion side, let's just say there are only two, right? Because there are only ever two opinions in the world, right? But we're just going to say that we're on these two opinion sides. Really? Have you ever found an opinion that is 100% solid, foolproof? You see, I think that maybe we could benefit from actually acknowledging some of the strengths in somebody's position. Wow, well, I can see how you're right on this and this. That makes sense to me. Maybe you can explain this and this to me. I'm just thinking that it's really silly for any of us to think that we're completely right. There you have it. You see, we don't have to know it all. We don't know it all. And so for us to pretend that we do know something and to actually believe that there isn't a flaw with it, it's really arrogant. I might have really just upset a lot of you, depending on where you're at on different topics. That might be really hard. But I'm thinking that our culture, our society could benefit tremendously from a good dose of humility. I think that there are a lot of people in our world right now that are hurting and they're looking for answers and they want solutions. And they don't need to be told they're wrong and they don't need to be criticized and condemned. But if we could truly, truly seek to understand each other, if there was truly a give and take from everybody, maybe we could come up with some better solutions. This isn't just like on the bigger side of things. This isn't just with these big issues that we're facing as a country and as a world. This has to do with even in your home, with your friendships, with your colleagues. We don't need to be busy pointing the finger, and we don't need to be busy having our own way. Our own way isn't the only way. There are other ways that are really effective and actually sometimes even better. So, anyhow, be open. Be open to some other ways and other ideas. All right. That's a lot. Think about that. Let me know. Just please don't be too cranky with me. But if you need to be cranky, that's okay. Until next time, go find your freedom. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Ask Me How I Know. My guests are the most humble successes, so be sure to show them your appreciation by rating this episode 5 stars, which sounds silly, but let's be real. Ratings, likes, and shares, they take no time at all, but make all the difference in the world, if only to boost morale. Also, since I don't spend time on the how and why they got into investing, be sure to check out the show notes to get to know more about today's guests, including other podcasts they've been on that has a more traditional format that will give other details about their investment journey. It'll also tell you things like the most influential person in their life and what they're reading right now, as well as how to connect with them. And please, subscribe and rate Ask Me How I Know so it reaches other listeners like you. Until next time, go find your freedom.